Greetings from the part 2 of touring 5 museums in one day. Before watching this one, you have to go watch the part 1 because in this one we are going to start from the 4th museum, which is Istanbul Museum of History of Science and Technology in Islam, Istanbul İslam Bilim ve Teknoloji Tarihi Müzesi. After that, visiting the Gülhane Parkı, which was just like an absolute fairy tale. And after a little bit of rest, we finally toured the last museum, which was Türk ve İslam Eserler Müzesi. And after Istanbul Archaeology Museum, this one was an absolute masterpiece. And lastly, to finish the day, we toured around the beautiful streets of Fatih. Starting off from roaming around the pretty streets of Fatih on our way to the 4th museum of the day after touring the biggest archaeology museum in Istanbul. Google Maps kind of tricked us here because this museum was near to the one we visited before it, but we had to take the long way in order to come here. But anyways, here we are in the İslam Bilim ve Teknoloji Tarihi Müzesi. If you watched our previous episode, you would know that we are touring all of these museums with the museum card or the museum pass that you can get in Istanbul, and with that you have access around different museums in Istanbul and historical landmarks and sites. But anyways, we're going to talk about this in more detail in one of our future videos. This building was so cool. It had like these cool windows, and the view outside was so pretty because this view is of the Gülhane Parkı, which we are visiting just after this museum. It was so beautiful. This place was inaugurated back in 2008 and it displays replicas of from 9th to 16th century scientific instruments of Muslim scholars. Now, all of these models that are placed inside of this museum are not like the original ones that the scientists back in the day made, but actually they are just replicas, and all of them are made from the old drawings that have been preserved from back then. So many items are here are also like completely imagined, or most of them are just seen from the drawings and then remade, thinking about how they would have made those things back then. And it's just so cool seeing the evolution of instruments, devices, and different things that scientists back then used. From all of those studies and researches, we are getting the modern things that we use today. So this museum had so many different sections ranging from astronomy, physics, chemistry, war technology. Now this was something that was completely new for us. And here there are like so many models. I think there are like 100,000 models or something like that. This place exhibits works and devices, tools invented by and developed by Islamic scientists between the 19th to 16th century. And this museum contains like 12 different sections, which are like astronomy, clocks and marine. We also had medicine, war and technology, mining instruments, physics, maths and geometry, architecture, city planning. There was also a place for like optics, geography, and a place which was like a screening room, and it had cinema over there, and it was showing how scientists back then used to make stuff. And in this section that you're seeing right now, it has miniatures of one of the most important historical landmarks, observatories, and buildings in Istanbul, old Islamic hospitals, universities. And just by visiting this place, it made us realize on how and what a great impact Islam and Muslim scientists back in the day have in the revolution of science that we have today. It's a two-story museum, and there are numerous maps and map drawings on the first floor related to mines, physics, mathematics, geometry, optics, chemistry. And then there's a Cinevision hall on the second floor where we witnessed numerous visuals about the museum, like astronomy, clock technologies, and the medicine department. And then also there are various models of Islamic scientists' work shown throughout the museum's exhibition halls, and they're just like must see, and you will absolutely be astonished on seeing how amazing and precisely those buildings were made back then. Place also had books written by old scientists and all of their research work written over here, and this is like the chemistry section in which they have showed how scientists back then performed chemical reactions and stuff like that. how can we forget? Every museum has a museum shop which displays so many miniatures, coasters, and just traditional Turkish stuff and books that you can buy from the museum. And now we are finally in one of the most favorite places of ours that we discovered in Istanbul, which is the Gülhane Park, which means a rose house park. This place was just like an absolute fairy tale dream with like giant, huge trees, beautiful flowers, and just big pathways where you could just walk. And I think the time that we came here was also perfect because it was like golden hour, like Asr time, and the sunshine, sun rays peeking through the trees. It was just all magical. Park also has historical significance because one of its gates meets the gate of the Topkapi Palace, and it's one of the most expansive and oldest public parks in Istanbul. For a little bit break, we came to the Güle Bulbul Çay Bahçesi. It was like a cafe in the park, and we decided to have some snacks here and visit the last museum of the day, which is Türk ve İslam Eserler Müzesi. Turkish and Islamic Art Museum is the first museum in Istanbul which includes Turkish and Islamic artworks together at the same time. If you watched part 1 of this video, you would know that we visited the Musée Humayun, which was the Istanbul Archaeology Museum, which was founded by Osman Hamdi Bey, and this museum was also founded by him. The museum is situated or like built in the Ibrahim Pasha Palace, which was one of the most important structures of Ottoman civil architecture. And if you've watched the Turkish series Muhteşem Yüzyıl, you would know Ibrahim Pasha's character. So it was his house which now houses this museum. This place had so many holy relics of Islam and just how Islamic things from different empires were preserved. It also had like the first and early doors of Kaaba and the cover of it, the locks, and different transcripts of the Quran from different time periods of the Islamic empires. And seeing all of these transcripts written of the Quran, it was just so warming to see on how detailed and precisely all of these were written, and then realizing the fact that back in the day these were all handmade and every page is written with such precision. It was just mind-blowing to see how people of the past were like people of precision. This museum also had holy relics and belongings of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. And at this point our camera battery also died, and just for the sake of the privacy of the museum, we are not showing all of those sacred relics. Camera battery and even our own battery was kind of really dying at this point, so here we are on our way back just to grab food, and we are in the Sultanahmet Square. And the structure that you're seeing here is one of the parts of the Hippodrome, and it's like an ancient Egyptian obelisk. Not sure about its full history, but it's just placed here in the Sultanahmet Square from the Hippodrome times. To get food, and look who we met.
Yes, Imran Khan #1. We like Imran Khan. From Turkish people, they like them, yes.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you, Pakistan.
This person was, I think, the mayor of the city, and we were just walking around filming, so he decided to come and say such sweet words about our country. We had food, tried the famous Turkish baklava, and that was it from touring 5 museums in one day. We were absolutely tired, but touring all of these places was worth it. We hope you guys liked this video, and we'll see you guys next week.